Attention, we have some breaking news. You know how when I first started this channel, I used to have tips on getting better at Rocket League? But then I made that video that pretty much packed all my training advice into one piece of content, ensuring that I'd never have anything else of value to add after that? I remember. Well, even though I don't do many tutorials these days, we still have one series that is guaranteed to help improve your game. That series is ALG University, and guess what? It's back today for episode 4. We're going to be covering one of the most requested ranks, which is High Diamond, trying to push into Champ. But remember, just because that's the rank of our participants, it doesn't mean the advice isn't applicable to other ranks. Mistakes in Rocket League happen at every level. Allegiance University is designed to help players of all ranks avoid those common mistakes. Before we get started though, I have some more breaking news. Remember Manscaped? You know, the guys that accidentally made Neat Might quit Rocket League? Well, they liked my little shout out so much they want to stick around some more. So to show my appreciation to them, I'm slapping their logo on my banner. They didn't even ask me to do that, but I wanted to because it's a sweet logo and I like them. So once again, if you're looking for some men's products to up your game, use the code SUNLESS at manscaped.com to get 20% off and free shipping. And that's all for today's news, I guess. You might be able to tell that Virge sounds like a croaky little frog. That's because he was really sick the last week. So he's on the up and up now, though.
They gave me some steroids, so we're on the come up.
So we roided up for this episode, man. Get ready.
All right, so we've got Sock and Chromag are the two that we paired together for this episode. I think Diamond is where you actually start kind of realizing, like, okay, all this time that I'm putting into this game is actually starting to pay off. But there's a lot of in-between stuff that is just left to figuring out on your own. Hopefully this replay is going to show us some of those small things, and hopefully we can, figure it out for you in a couple minutes. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
Let's get started.
So you know how we start. We always start with the kickoffs.
Always start with the no flip on the kickoff. Verge hates these.
We see the no flip on kickoffs is something that actually happens quite often, and it's because they're afraid to miss. You have to get over your fear of missing. Most players will go into a competitive match and not flip because they're afraid, oh, I don't want to lose this match in particular. If your main goal is to get better, you don't want to be concerned about this match. This match doesn't matter because in a year from now, when you're a much better player, you're not going to remember. So go for that thing you're not comfortable doing. Miss it. A year later, you're going to thank yourself because you're going to go, man, I started practicing that a year ago because I wasn't afraid then. If I waited until now, I would still suck at it.
We're already getting pretty deep here. You got to love it. Verge dives in, I fully concur. You got to go for that flip. It's just good practice, if anything. It's not like you're always going to get a terrible kickoff if you don't flip. But like you said, it's more about the habit.
Exactly. So here, this is something that's really, really good. He avoids this boost. The reason he's avoiding this boost is, one, the lineup for the ball on his hit is going to take a little bit of extra time if he goes out of his way to grab that boost. And maybe that extra second is going to be the second that he needs to just beat the last defender or get blocked by the last defender.
See, I told you guys this would be applicable because I'm still majorly struggling with this. And he also doesn't need the full boost because he's got 84. But I still struggle with this. You see that full boost right there? You're like, hey, I can grab this before I hit the ball. But it really can mess you up.
Exactly.
I'm slowly learning this.
Not only is he positioning himself better for this hit, he's also leaving this for a possible retreat. And then here, he sees two people in net. A lot of players want to take a shot if they're in front of the net and they have the ball. It takes a lot of discipline to do something like this. What you want to do is you just want to put the ball in an awkward spot. The defender right here is worried about a shot coming. And so if this ball gets thrown at the net in any relative direction towards the net, the defender's now thinking, okay, I have to make a touch on this. So he was pulled out of net, forcing a mistake out of him, now leaving an opening for his teammate.
See, I do a lot of accidental peppering. I guess I've just been peppering this whole time. So it's good. It's good to have some affirmation there.
So here we see another instance where recovery is super important. We see him going for the bump. He misses the bump. Now he's stuck in the net. The ball's bouncing to the other side of the field. Sock just committed in the air. They're both recovering. Sock gets demoed. And now we're stuck here. No boost. We're getting back. He wasn't thinking about what's going to happen if we don't get the outcome we're looking for. So he fully commits. Once he gets into the net and goes for the bump, he misses it, but he still commits to flipping through it. This is where he should be going, okay, if I'm going to get the bump, I'm going to drive straight into him. If he moves forward, I'm going to drive out and start recovering so that if my teammate doesn't score it, I'm back in time. So here, because we're rushing back, we're low on boost. And so we see him picking up a couple pads, which is smart. But right here, I think he dives in a little bit too hard. What you want to do right here is cut off. Again, what are the possibilities? So here we see a possibility of him continuing to dribble this straight, a possibility of a flick, and the possibility of him cutting it in. And what Chromag does here is he cuts out and he really only covers this option out here.
He probably read that actually the ball was a little low on the car, so he actually read that nicely by eliminating that option.
This ball is a little bit low, so he probably can't get the flick. It's a possibility, but the odds of it happening successfully are pretty low, so he's eliminated in his head, like you said. But what he does is he only commits for this angle. He's got enough space, enough time to force his opponent into doing something a little bit easier for his teammate to save, or a little bit easier for him to save. And so whenever you're coming in on a challenge like this, you want to cut off both angles. And the way that you do that is you essentially challenge directly at the ball, and you wait until you get closer to make your decision on what you think he's going to do with it. Because if you get closer, this becomes his range. You're a lot closer. Now you can flip to the right and cut this angle off, or flip to the left and cut this angle off. So you're covering more opportunities. You're covering more options for the opponent. And what this does for your teammate is now it's buying time, right? Even if you only cut off this option and he goes this way, now, his teammates over here, you've eliminated this pass through the midfield. You've made it easier for your teammate to challenge this guy.
This is actually a big thing in soccer or football, if you guys have a background in that. You always want to guide your opponent to the outside.
Right. You want to funnel them. You want to funnel them away from your net. A lot of times in Rocket League, it's not about making a challenge. We've gone over this before. Sometimes it's about being a presence. And in this situation, maybe being a presence here and funneling his opponent to his teammate is the safer option. Luckily, it just hits the post, bounces out.
Hey, you said there wasn't luck in Rocket League.
Fortunately. So right here, when we push this ball into their corner, again, a lot of players do this, so it's not just these guys. They're like, okay, I don't have a ton of boost. They're on their corner. Let me just back up and give them a ton of space here, get boost and let them come to me. But what you're doing here is you're giving them time to make mistakes and recover from those mistakes. And you don't want to do that. One thing you could do is grab a penny or two on your way in and a penny or two on your way out. And so you're putting yourself in a much better position this entire time, and you're then getting a boost in a better position rather than letting them take this ball to the corner, giving them all this space, getting this boost, and then waiting. And it's not necessarily, again, not just to get a touch, but just to be there so that you're letting them know, look, if you make a mistake, I'm here to punish you for it right away. And so right here, they're in this corner together. If you continued pushing over the boost, this happens, you'd be right here to immediately touch this ball. Great bump.
Very nice.
Follow up on the shot. One thing that he's doing here is by leaving this play and going all the way back for boost, essentially what he's saying is, I'm getting boost no matter what happens to this ball. And you don't want to do that. You always want to base your movement off of the play. You want to see what's happening with the ball. Where's the ball going? Where can I position to cover a possibility? And by being all the way back here, the only possibility he's covering is a huge clear. And in this situation right now, we're not afraid of a huge clear. Nothing's going to come from a huge clear. There's no way that this guy can throw the ball upfield at our net and score. And so here, sticking around and grabbing some pads, staying near the play, and then realizing, okay, it's coming this way. Now I can pick up this boost and be a lot closer to the play the entire time than going for this boost, picking it up, using it to get back to the play. And now I end up here with 40 boost. And it took me a lot longer to get here when I could have had 40 boost from this.
Right. The net result is the same of you trying to boost to get back into the play.
Great use of the pads in the midfield here. We see him, he's still looking at the play, but he's aware of where the pads are, right? You kind of have to use each pad as a reference for where the next one is. Here, he cuts across the field. We don't ever want to cut across the field because now what we're doing is we're using boost to get to the play, and then we have no boost to make a play. Here, he should be letting Sock move forward on this while he picks up more pads, supports behind him, because they're pushing to Sock. Sock can use his boost on the play, not getting to the play.
Very nice shot.
So great throw from Chromag, putting it in an awkward spot for the opponent. They're able to continue applying pressure. So here again, we see him rotating with the ball. If you're rotating behind the ball, you're always chasing the play. You're never catching up to it. If they're always going faster than you, you'll never catch up to it. But if you rotate through the midfield here, eventually they have to turn in to go to your net, and you can cut the play off. You're going to get out in front of it. You're going to not chase it down and follow behind it, but you're going to run out in front of it and stop it from moving forward. The positioning that he's got right now is leaving a lot open in the net. Up here, if this were to be a shot on the far post, it'd be really hard for him to save this because of how close he is under the play. So you got to make sure that you're rotating to that back post, because it's a lot easier for you to come in and face the play, because now the ball's coming to you. You're not chasing it down. So here, once the ball starts to move upfield, this is where you should be pushing, because now you want to start closing the distance so that this guy doesn't have space to dribble, right? There's not much he can do with this ball. He's going to have to turn it at some point towards your net. And so as long as you're going this way, now when it's time for him to turn, you're going to be a lot closer. You're starting off by pushing him this way because this is the near post. You don't want him to go to the near post. Now as he's going across, this becomes the near post. You want to start pushing him away from that near post. You're always covering. And so as he's coming across the field here, maybe you'd be about right here. And then when he decides to cut this, you're immediately there to challenge. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, is being close enough to punish somebody for a mistake immediately. At higher levels, you're going to get people who block these shots. But at this level, it's really beneficial to just throw the ball at the net because a lot of times you're going to throw the ball at the net and the opponent's going to kind of panic. Right here, Pengi's got plenty of time to make the save. He doesn't have to rush. He's got 100 boost and he's just unsure of what to do with it. He doesn't think quick enough. He's thinking, oh, there's 0 seconds. I have to keep it up. I don't. What do I do? Like, do I hit? If
Damn,
I hit
Virge with the roast. Oh
I'm not trying.
God.
No, I'm not trying to roast him. This is where I was when I was in Diamond. This is what's going through my head. And so while he's thinking about it, that's when it becomes difficult for him. He's like, oh, now I know what to do. Wait a minute, it's too late.
Damn. Well, Cro-Mag, Sock, you guys got the win, but we learned a lot along the way as well. I hope you guys learned as much as I did. Thank you, Virge, for coming in and dropping some more knowledge bombs. I know I have fun editing these, and I know Virge has fun delivering the knowledge. Thanks, guys.